Keemstar makes an unsubstantiated claim that Jeremy TheQuartering is a deplatformer or deplatforming over the recent 8 Thoughts controversy. Hi, I'm Tommy C, and this is Shot from the Point News. Nice to see you all. I think I know what Keem's doing here. I think I know what he's up to. But before I get you in the commentary portion, I will get you the facts. Keemstar tweeted, "Dear TheQuartering, I find it hypocritical that you called me a deplatformer because we wanted to stop J Station when you were here flagging 8 Thoughts videos." I find this kind of funny, just amusing. Keemstar was calling for the platforming in J Station. I know many of you agree with that, based on anything from reasons to protecting children, protecting the platform, keeping the next adpocalypse. That accusation is accurate. It is substantiated. Keemstar is a deplatformer. I think he would argue that he would only do it under certain circumstances, but that is the case. Keemstar is the platformer. But then he goes on, "I know you denied that you did, but Jeremy, you're fooling no one. You owe everyone an apology. Man up, man up." And what he's referring to is 8 Thoughts did a video where he mocked, where he criticized Jeremy, and it went down for bullying and harassment out of nowhere. Then 8 Thoughts went on, did a stream on his gaming channel, and he said, "TheQuartering is deplatforming me." And Jeremy, surprisingly, had a fit. He threatened a lawsuit for slander, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I know I hate saying it's kind of weasel words, a lot of people, but just based on what I saw on Twitter, it did rub a lot of people the wrong way, that he was so forceful. And me personally, it set up a bit of a red flag. TheQuartering responded, "Holy F, dude, I never flagged anything, proved it. And yet here you are, a news channel completely ignorant of that." What Jeremy is referring to is he took some screenshots from his main channel here, and it shows that he had not flagged 8 Thoughts. That he had done a flag at one time, and that, I guess, particular video was removed. That could have been a legitimate reason, that, it could have been something misleading. But there's no evidence, at least on his main account, that he did flag him. And this guy was a part of the Monday Match stream. I don't think anybody would be that particularly stupid. And then TheQuartering tried to give Keem a piece of his own, or a taste of his own medicine. "Hey friends, I don't have any evidence, but obviously I know for a fact Keemstar is false flagged my channel. Would be a shame. Would it be a shame if he now had to spend days defending himself and still having effing morons ignore facts? Oh well, he did it. Trust me." And Keem responded back, "Not too long ago. You have like 15 YouTube channels. Please explain to me how showing one channel's flag history proves you are innocent. Live stream you logging into all those channels." All right, and that is another red flag for Jeremy. I mean, just simply showing this doesn't really prove anything. And if to me in this position, and if I had as many channels as Jeremy does apparently have a slew of channels, and he's been trying to make it in social media for a long time. He's done quite well for himself. He's recently purchased an airplane. This seems a little weird that he would show his main channel, because certainly he's sophisticated enough. If he was going to flag a channel for bullying and harassment, he wouldn't leave the evidence on his main channel. That, however, doesn't mean that he flagged anything. It would have probably been a lot smarter for Jeremy not to post this, because this feels like this feels like they're counting on the ignorance of the public. If I didn't flag it on my main channel, therefore it didn't happen. It probably would have been a lot smarter not to post anything, because the burden of proof is actually on Keemstar. He's the so-called reporter in this situation. The burden of proof is on him to prove whether he did or he didn't. So in this particular situation, if you're ever in this situation as a YouTuber, I would advise not putting that out there under these particular circumstances. Again, the burden of proof is on Keemstar in this situation, not Jeremy. And what I think Keem is trying to do here, he's trying to shake things up a little bit. It does seem very, very strange, his overreaction, his so-called threat to his brand that he said when 8 Thoughts ran a stream saying that he flagged, saying that Jeremy flagged his video down. Now, 8 Thoughts would go back and put a question mark because he doesn't really say in that particular stream that Jeremy did it. Definitely, he just said he simply believes it. He believes he was capable of it. 8 Thoughts has gone on and said he has messed with T. Martin, really big COD streamers, and nothing like this has ever happened before. And he does feel that Jeremy may be responsible. Again, there is no particular evidence. And what I think Keem is doing here, he's trying to shake things up a little bit. If Jeremy was responsible for this, he more than likely did it with a group of people, with like a Discord chat or something like that. And I think when Keem speaks out on something like this, there's going to be a whole bunch of clout chasers just jumping to give him evidence. And I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to put that out there. So he's going to make this unsubstantiated allegation, hoping to shake something loose. Because I'll be perfectly honest with you, his overreaction to this seemed like a huge red flag, threatening lawsuits, getting all upset. It seemed really strange. And my personal experience with Jeremy, even a light goof will get him to what I like to call swing his audience at you. Jeremy is like famous for this. He does not take criticism well. He does not take mockery well. And the thing that that wouldn't be so bad in itself, but his entire channel is based on people in pop culture, in video games, not being able to take a joke or criticism, things of that nature. Yet he's very much the same, at least in my personal experience. I did an interview with 8 Thoughts on my main channel, Tommy C's SFTP. Go sub it. It's the best live stream podcast on YouTube events you could possibly have. But it is not for the weak of heart. It's not for the easygoing. It is definitely toxic as hell. Someone might say toxic masculinity. If that's not for you, well, you've been warned. And let's hear 8 Thoughts talk about this particular incident. He has released his flag history, but I mean, no, he has not released his flag history.
Okay, he did, but he didn't do what I said, and then he pussied out as well. I mean, forgot about he also now threatened to sue me and all that stuff. Yeah, anyway, we'll get into that. I'm sorry, I'm jumping the story. He did release his flag history, but he released a screenshot, which I said that doesn't mean anything. Like you can go look at a flag history, screenshot it, take it to whatever Photoshop you got, and then simply take the white paint and paint over it, because it's just a screen, and like it's below it's just white. Like it's super easy to doctor.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, and I probably believe he didn't.
Not that channel. He was in the Monday Nat stream. I cannot believe that he would be that stupid to do something like that.
No, he wouldn't do that. But like I said, I do believe he's complicit with somehow flagging that video from somewhere. Like I just don't believe that it just got flagged down. Like how many videos have I made, Tommy, where I've shit on like T. Martins and Drifters and everybody,
and they didn't do a thing.
I've dunked on them way worse.
I mean, Jesus, I got into it with Banks. Nothing happened. I mean, he would send me tweets and then delete them right away, but he never, like, nothing like this has ever really happened before. That being said, since you didn't have evidence, and of course you have the right to believe what you want, was it a really good idea to put that in the title? Was it a good idea to say Quartering struck my channel down? Is that fair, considering that you didn't have enough evidence at that point?
Yes and no, because after I realized he was getting his panties in a wad, I put the question mark, which
yeah, that's good. That's it.
Is the move, right? That's the move. That gets you rid of any kind of, I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of, but that will stop any kind of defamation or libel. Just put the question mark, because you're not.
Yeah, you're allowed to question it. I mean, I got to be honest with you. It's as far as I was talking to somebody and they were saying, well, now he was in the Monday Matt stream, it wouldn't have happened. I got to be honest, based on his behavior on our jokes, goofing on his body language.
Yes.
And the fact that your channel is so big, the fact that I am personally aware that he has upwards of at least 10 channels from an email I had, just the fact that he overreacted like he did. I think he had every right to say, hey, I didn't do this. Here's my flag history, and you're fucking out of line. But go to the next route and threaten a lawsuit. It's a red flag. No, it really is a red flag. Because, I mean, like, this is not going to make or break you, if you think that he's doing. Now, I do agree with him in some extent because of his reputation, because of his stance on free speech, the fact that he was in the Monday Match stream. This could affect his brand. But I don't think it's going to affect his brand unless it's absolutely true. You have every right to think there's something going on there. To be perfectly honest with you, though, the only way I think he could have done it, and I do not believe he would dirty his channel with it, is if he organized it. And here's the thing about organizing it. You always have some loose ends. If you're doing this in Discord and say you hit here and you hit there, somebody's going to snitch. Somebody's got a screenshot. Somebody's ready to do what they want. And I'm going to do this right now. I'm offering $200, and only if it proves without a shadow of a doubt. You better be able to scroll.
I'll put $200 down. With
$200. So make it $200 for direct evidence. Well, there you go. And I am very suspicious of this. I think what Keemstar is trying to do is trying to shake some of those loose ends out. I'm extremely suspicious of this, and we should know if he's doing something like this. So yeah, call it a bounty, call it anything you want. 8 Thoughts and I are that we want to get to the bottom of this. I don't think this just happens by itself. It very well could have been a group of fans that Jeremy has, unbeknownst to him. Maybe it's even likely, but I think we need to know the guy on the platform. Is the guy on the platform flagging people after being involved with the Monday Match stream, after basically calling everybody out and their brother for not being able to handle jokes and mockery, showing that he can't handle it on several occasions. There's another video on my site where we make fun of his body language, and he had an absolute meltdown on Twitter over it. And threatened to swing his audience at me, and then after it didn't go the way he'd hoped, he kind of pulled back on that and said, "Oh, I was never going to make a video on you anyway." So I think it's important we know if Jeremy's a fraud or not. So yes, make that $400. But in fairness to him, and I do say this, I don't know if it's a really good idea to accuse somebody without some kind of evidence. Certainly you can wonder aloud whether he had something to do with it. He's certainly the best suspect. But yeah, I tend to think that streamers should make it abundantly clear this is what they think and not what they know. Yeah, and put the question mark in there in the title. But as 8 Thoughts goes on in this podcast, which is a really good podcast, and I'll put it up in the cards and also at the end of the stream for the end cards, or the end of the stream, the end of this video for the end cards. And I do, you really should check out this, you really should check this out. He goes into a lot more detail. He talks about why he did it and about just the YouTube game in general and clickbait. And he's very honest, very open interview, and I hope you check it out. That's all I got for you today. I'm Tommy C, and I'm out.